Hello and welcome to this week's Heads Up video update. And as you can see, once again, I've left the Wycombe High TV green screen studio to get out and about around the school to talk to some of our students and staff. This week, I'm in the Classics faculty, another department we're hugely proud of here at Wycombe High. It really does set us apart from other schools. A little later, we'll be hearing from some students studying Latin, ancient history and classical civilization, along with our classics subject lead, Mrs. Claire Williams. But first, fresh back from the half-term holidays, it's been yet another award-winning week here at Wycombe High, this time involving one of our former students. Kate Taylor, who was here from 1996 until 2002, has won a prestigious Innovate UK Women in Innovation Award for pioneering a game-changing bra design. Yesterday, Kate was here at Wycombe High for the unveiling of a special purple plaque in our new reception area to mark her incredible achievement.
So Kate, welcome back to Wycombe High. How does it feel to be back?
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, a real blast from the past, but it's really exciting.
Nice, wonderful. So tell us about your innovation. What gave you the inspiration?
So I have innovated and created products for breast asymmetry. So that's an unevenness of breast size. And that can be from a variety of causes, congenital conditions, breastfeeding, post-cancer surgeries. I've invented a bra specifically for breast asymmetry and also a range of silicone breast prosthetics, which are called bra balances. So the inspiration actually came from feet. I've got two slightly different sized feet, and it was really annoying me that shoes were slipping off the smaller foot. And so I had this business idea that I was going to sell shoes in mismatched pairs of sizes. And when I spoke to people about the idea, women said, you know, shoes are a pain, but bras are my biggest issue. I have breasts of different sizes, which is incredibly common. And it occurred to me that no brands and no products exist for this, even though it is so common. And it was a problem that I had myself. So I decided to do something about that.
Nice, amazing. And would you say one of your key motivators is empowerment for women?
Yes, definitely. So by winning this Innovate UK award, it's really been about hopefully being a good role model for women, getting into business, innovation and entrepreneurship. It's really important for me.
Amazing. And you must have been delighted when you heard about this special award from Innovate UK.
Yes, definitely. It was a real boost for my business, which was in its early stages at the time. So there was a financial grant that I won through the award, and also lots of coaching and mentoring and support. So it really gave my business a huge boost, and we've been able to really grow and move things forward really quickly.
Wonderful, wonderful. This sounds amazing. What is next for your business and for your innovation?
So the bra invention has patent protection, and I'm now looking for lingerie retailers to license the design and help me bring that to market. I'm selling the silicone prosthetics, the bra balances, they're sold online, and we're looking to expand operations globally, so expand our reach to more countries.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Many congratulations to Kate. It's always wonderful to see our former students doing so well beyond their time here at Wycombe High School. Now here in our Classics department, students study ancient history, classical civilization and Latin, and they clearly enjoy their learning experience. So this is a Year 13 Classics class. Can you tell me a little bit about what you do in classical civilization at A-level?
So we have 3 modules, which are religion, Greek art and literature. And we study a mixture of Homer and Virgil in literature, and then in Greek art we get to look at a range of sources, and then in religion we're currently doing philosophy and we're working our way through that one.
Wow, so it's really quite a broad syllabus then, like bringing in lots of different aspects of the arts, I suppose, and the history as well. What sort of skills have you developed from studying the subject?
I mean, naturally as a humanities it's quite good for essay writing, and also it's really analytical because we do art history, and yeah, it's very broad.
Skills that are going to serve you well then at undergraduate level, hoping to study at university?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So I think classical civilization now at A-level, but I think you've studied Latin too a bit lower down the school at GCSE, is that right?
That is right, yeah. I did it from year 9 to year 11, as one does with GCSEs. And it was really interesting, much more literature focused than I was expecting, but not in a way that I think detracted away from the actual language itself. Yeah. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the analytical stance you took in terms of the linguistics and the science behind it. I thought that was really interesting.
And I think sometimes people look at a subject like Latin and think, oh, gosh, that will be really too difficult, too challenging for me. But is it challenging? And what's the level of challenge like? And where's the enjoyment to be found in that subject?
I mean, it's challenging in the way that any language, I think, is challenging. I know the appeal for some of my classmates was that there wasn't actually a speaking section to the Latin GCSE, so they didn't have to worry so much at having the fluency that you get with modern foreign languages. But at the same time, there was still a huge breadth of language, and because it wasn't speaking focused, because it's a dead language, all of the vocabulary was much more geared towards the text that we studied. So it was about fighting and poison and like conflict, and it was much more, for me, interesting and interested in the storytelling aspect of language, which I really liked.
And it's got so many roots, hasn't it, in so many other... As a historian, I know you come across Latin words all the time when you're studying the past. Have you found it to be quite a useful subject in that way?
Yeah, definitely. I know some people have gone from Latin into medicine, which sounds like a strange journey, I guess, but obviously there's lots of medical terms that have Latin in it, gardening terms, if you wanted to go into gardening, English, even lots of the devices that we use in English have Latin at roots. So yeah, really useful.
So fantastic foundation then for studying classical civilization now.
Yeah.
Good luck. So lots of the class have chosen classical civilization as one of the A-level options. I think you've opted into it as something additional to your other A-levels. Is that right?
Yeah, so I transferred from another school and I needed a third subject and I stumbled across this one.
Oh, so fantastic. So was this a bit of a unique offer for Wycombe High School then, something that you hadn't necessarily seen at other schools?
Yeah, it was. I hadn't seen it anywhere else.
And what was it that really drew you to the subject? What was the appeal of it?
I think just the broad range, and it covered a lot of my interests, such as, the literature and art.
So a third subject within the classics department is ancient history, which I think you studied at GCSE. Can you tell us a bit about what that course was like?
Yeah, so I took Ancient History GCSE and I absolutely loved it. I wasn't sure when I started, so in year 9 you take one more subject than you needed, and I thought classics was definitely going to be the one. I dropped Ancient History. I didn't think I was going to do it. But I took it for the first year. I absolutely loved it. We studied the Persian Wars. I thought it was really fascinating. A lot of my friends who studied modern history, I found that I just preferred the ancient content a lot more. It was a lot more fascinating to me. And we also studied the founding of Rome, which is stuff that I sort of knew a little bit about, but I thought it was really interesting to learn a lot more about it, and it's knowledge that I'm definitely using in classics as well now at A-level.
And did you build up some of the skill set, do you think, from studying the ancient history at GCSE that's helping you out now with the classical civilization A-level?
Yeah, I think definitely a lot of the basic knowledge is very helpful to have. I don't think you need it to take it A-level, but it's definitely helpful to have some understanding of the classical world. And as other people have talked about, analytical skills are really helpful that have been developed in this subject.
And what are you hoping to do at the end of year 13? Are you heading off to university?
Yeah, so I am going to study maths and physics. Classical civilization is my sort of fourth A-level. It's very different, and I really appreciate the difference from maths and physics that I spend my whole day studying, because writing an essay subject, I think it's really good to have balance, and I really get that from this subject.
It's fantastic to be in a sixth form where you've got that breadth of choice, and you can have the sciences as that specialism, but then also complement it with your fourth subject. Do you think that will serve you well, sort of heading off to university?
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
So I think this is a subject where there's lots of interest in it, then people really develop passions and sort of think that they're going to head off to university. And I think that's your plans, isn't it, to build on what you've studied in the classics department through your time at school. What are you both heading off to do?
So I'm going off to study archaeology, which is obviously it's an adjacent subject rather than classics itself, but the foundation that doing Latin ancient history at GCSE and then classics at A-level it's just perfect. It really feeds into all of the interests. So when I go off to university, I've got lots of really great knowledge that I can then build on.
Fantastic. It sounds so exciting doing archaeology at university. It sounds right up my street, actually. And what about you?
Yeah, I'm quite similar. I'm going off to do classics, straight classics, but I'm looking forward to, because obviously we do have quite a broad modules here, but I'm looking forward to looking at the theatre and more of the philosophy and stuff like that. So
And I guess the foundation that you've had here with the sort of breadth of the classical civilization, doing a little bit of each thing is that lovely foundation, isn't it? But you're going to get to do it in even more depth. And do you have sort of any preparation for what that undergraduate study might look like? Is that something that you've talked in lessons about? Have you done wider reading around the subject as part of your A-level?
When I had to, obviously when I wrote my personal statement, I had to like do some wider reading for that to make sure I looked like I was always really committed to it. So that was actually interesting. I found a lot of stuff that I liked because I hadn't really looked into that much, again, the philosophy before, but I thought it was really, really interesting to have a look at that. And archaeology, actually, so that was nice.
And did that happen in your case too?
Yeah, so in my interview, I went in and was terrified, as everyone is, but it was really natural. One of my interviews actually was a classicist, so that was really good. We talked about things that we touched on in lessons, so it was really, really helpful. It made me feel a lot better about everything, like I knew what I was actually talking about.
Well, fantastic. And one of the things that I know that they're looking for is a passion for the subject. So to be holding offers for these subjects, you've obviously communicated that in spades. So very well done and good luck with it all. And with me now is Mrs. Claire Williams, our subject lead for the Classics Department. Now, the students clearly really enjoy studying in the Classics Department. There's a real sense of pride in their studies, what they're working on today. Can you tell us, for the parents that are watching, as well as for students who are potentially going to choose one of the Classics subjects, what's on offer here within the department?
Yes, gladly. We offer Latin. They're really fortunate actually at this school to be able to study Latin in Year 7, all the way GCSE and A-level. Also GCSE Ancient History we offer, which is the study of Persia, the Persian kings, Rome, and we take an in-depth study on Cleopatra, Hannibal, and Alexander the Great. And then we also offer Classical Civilization A-level, which is where we are today, which is a subject not many people know about really, and often wonder what it is. And it's a study of the ancient texts, so Virgil's Aeneid, Homer's Odyssey, as well as Greek religion, Greek art. So it's lots of subjects within one.
It's just such a fantastic breadth, and what a great opportunity for the students here to have all of that on offer. It's just not subjects that are able to be offered at some other local schools. You must be so proud of what the students are doing and what the department's doing, and fantastic results at GCSE and at A-level too. Yes, last year we had 100% A-star to A-level in our Latin class. 80% of them went on to Oxford University to study. 6% of them went off to do classics-related degrees as well. So we're really, really pleased. So it just goes to show it's sort of not just for A-level then, it's certainly something that can take you on and you can study at an even higher level, undergraduate level. Quite unusual these days, unique one might say, to have a school that has such a thriving classics department. You know, what do you attribute to the students choosing it?
I think it's just a sheer enjoyment. So with ancient history, the topics that we study are so fascinating. We have the gruesome punishments that the kings used to, deal to people, and just as well the breadth, like you said, at A-level for classical civilization. There's just so many different things to study within one subject. Several of our students actually took as an extra A-level, and it's actually turned out to be their favourite subject.
As a historian myself, I've got a keen interest in everything you're talking about. I think I have to try and drop into more of the lessons to see what they're up to. But can you give us some examples of where Latin or classical civilization or even ancient history might take the students in their future careers?
Yes, I would say everywhere and anywhere. So we have ex-students who have become authors, bankers, people that work in the city, civil servants, teachers, would you believe? So it really doesn't narrow your choices. The world is your oyster.
That's absolutely incredible, and so lucky that they can offer it as part of the curriculum, but also as that sort of extra enrichment that you mentioned as well. Thank you ever so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Now, a date for your diary. We're very excited to invite all parents and carers to our next Student Matters evening, which will be held in person here at the school on Wednesday, the 8th of March from 6 to 7 p.m. The evening has been organised by our in-house mental health support team, who will be focusing on very important topics covering teenage mental health issues, anxiety, how to manage it, as well as self-harm and eating disorders. To book a place at this very important event, please complete the form via the link on the bottom of your screen. As you know, good mental health is something very much at the heart of the Wickham High School ethos. As indeed was shown when at the end of Children's Mental Health Week, just before the half-term holidays, dozens of students joined me for a walk around the sports field with our much-loved therapy dog. I wish you a wonderful, peaceful and stress-free weekend. Goodbye.
sky stay blue? It's probably the same reason that the sun is shining too, and all the birds are whistling tunes, singing out, shouting out, and here's a song for you. If everything's the same, then everything's the way that it should be. If everything's the same, then everything's the way that it should be. La, la,